Hélène Gelèns. I'm from Amsterdam, the Netherlands. I'm here on invitation of City of Asylum. We are here with 5 poets from the Netherlands, and we started in New York, and now we are here in Pittsburgh. There are questions that I really hate. Well, the question that always comes up from the audience in the Netherlands, where do you live from? It's a dull question for me. It is an important question, of course, but I don't like to talk about it actually. I think maybe that's the worst question for me. The Dutch poets were very important, and then the Polish poets like Szymborska, Zbigniew Herbert, and also the Russian poets, and a lot of European poets at first, so Serbian like Vosko Popa, and from Denmark, Inger Christensen. So this was my real, yeah. But the first time I think that I thought, oh, American poetry is very, I should read more American poetry. It was when I think maybe I was 23, and I read E. E. Cummings, and I was absolutely shocked with what he did. I hadn't seen it in the Dutch literature, and there's a lot of avant-garde and in the Dutch and in the Flemish literature, but I hadn't seen anything like what he did. So for me it was a very important poet. For I think 1 year I read everything what I could find. Yes. Oh, Dutch poetry is very hard to define at the moment. I think until the 80s there were all these different kinds of, there were groups of poets who wanted to do the same. And at the moment the Dutch poetry is so diverse. And you see it on these 5 poets who are here in Pittsburgh now. They all have 5 very different voices. Oh, I did enter once a literary contest, and then that's nice. Actually, for me, it was quite actually very important, because it was for my first time I had to perform, because I knew beforehand that I won this prize, and it was in a big church in the center of Amsterdam, and I thought I wouldn't dare to read my poetry. Actually, for me it was all very written poetry, not oral. And then I had to read it, and then suddenly I really enjoyed it, and it's very nice, because it's this performance is now a big part of my poetry. I think it belongs together now, so it changed a lot. But afterwards, I don't think I ever entered any contest again. Not really, actually. No, I think. I know that if I'm writing a philosophical essay, it's for me very difficult to write poetry. So I know it by now, and I know a writer's block, for me it doesn't really have to exist, because I just have to wait and, well, do other things, read, and then it comes back again, and walk around a lot, hear people talk, and talk with people, and then the language will come back. Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine actually. Last year, after I won a very important prize, I went for 3 months to France, and I lived in a very small village. It was actually, I think, with 4 people. I was there with my friends. We were both writing there, and it was very good for my writing. So if you do a lot of events, it's a bit dangerous sometimes for your writing, and you meet too many other writers, and yeah, you have to stick with what you want to do, and but it's important to meet other writers. It's important to, well, talk to people. I don't think my nationality comes. No, I don't think you can tell what nationality I have, but you can tell my gender in some poems, because one of my poems is about the biological clock, for example. But it's not really. It's 2 voices, and you don't know exactly which voice is the male one, and a female one. And for me, the voice, which is female, people always think it's a male voice, so maybe it's not so very clear, but for me it is. I was brought up a Catholic, and now I can't believe in God anymore. But I think this is something you see in my poetry. This background of this religion is in my poetry, and also that I'm a non-believer. You can tell from it. So I think this is part of my identity as well. Yes, I would. I know for sure. Maybe it would be a bit different, but not too much, I think. But because I learn a lot of my writing, and but maybe it would be not so precise. It would be more more fluent thing, probably. Yes. I think we think in the Netherlands we can say everything, so it's like you have no limits. But I know there's a poem I wrote, and I think I will read it this night. It is about this biological clock. And I know I had to write it, and sometimes in the public I see this people, mostly women, who think they don't like to hear this, really. And sometimes men, they say you shouldn't say this. So, but I still want to say these things. I think it's important. So there are limits, but I'm not really sure where it's this. There are some cultural opinions, of course, that are important for, well, but I learn by writing, and I learn from the public, actually. So if I was living in this village in France, and I never would perform my poetry, I don't think I would be aware of this limit. And I'm only aware of it because I'm reading it out, yeah, for public.